Hi guys, in today's video we're going to be talking about complex fractions in unit rates. So you might see these in ratios a lot. You might see a complex fraction in other topics as well, and we hope this video is helpful to you in that, because complex fractions they look scarier than they actually are, in my opinion. So we hope to help you there. So what is a complex fraction? So a fraction that contains fractions in itself. So it's a fractions that have I'll show you some right here. They might have a fraction in the numerator, so it might be like 1/2 divided by 3. Like it's a fraction in a fraction. Or it could be the opposite. Maybe it's 1 over 5/7. Or it could be fractions on top and bottom. So like 2/3 I don't know, 7/8. So those are complex fractions. So it's just a fraction inside of a fraction, either top, bottom, both. And they're actually pretty easy to simplify. So here's a couple we're going to do. So to be able to simplify a complex fraction, we need to be able to divide fractions. So if you don't know how to divide fractions or maybe need a refresher, we do have a video on that you can check out. So we want to remember that when I have a fraction written like this, it's like saying 1/3 divided by 1/2. And if you go back to our divide video, you'll see our method, our keep, change, flip method that is commonly taught in lots of places. So you have the first fraction you're going to keep, you're going to change the sign to a multiplication sign, and then you use the reciprocal, you flip it. So that's the reciprocal, just flip your fraction. And then you just multiply your fractions like normal. If you need a review on how to multiply fractions, we also have a video for that. So for this one, I just get 2/3. So I have my 1/3 divided by my 1/2, which is really 1/3 times 2/1, which just multiply across 3/2, 2/3, 2/3, sorry. Same thing here. Now this one may be harder to tell. I can tell the 2 is bigger, so that's the denominator by itself. So I have 3/4 divided, by 2. So keep the first one, change the sign, flip the second one. So multiply across, I get 3/8. Okay, and remember, because we're dealing with fractions, if you need to simplify, please do. These were all good. All right. How about this one? Simplify the following complex fractions. All right, you want to try these? If you want to pause it, go ahead and pause it and try these out. At least the first two. If you're not sure how to handle the last one, that's okay. We'll go through it. I'm going to start with the first one. All right. So if you want to rewrite it out to look at it like this, that's fine. You may be able just to go ahead and keep the top one, change the sign, and then flip the bottom one. Keep, change, flip. Oh, that's supposed to be 3. Right? All right. If you can cross cancel, do so. I can't in this one, so I get 10/9, and that would be my final answer. If you wanted to write it as a mixed number, you can. I'm going to leave it like that because the improper fraction is actually quite useful to me in the future. All right, next one, 21 divided by 7/2. Keep the first one, change the sign, flip the second. You might want to write the 21/1 if you're going to do cross canceling. I will. So the 7 and the 21 both have a 7 in common, so I can take the 7 out. 21 becomes 3 because 3 times 7 is 21. 7 becomes 1. 1 times 7 is 7. So then I just get 3 times 2, which is just 6/1, which is just 6. Okay. And now the last one. And you're like, that's not a fraction in a fraction. That doesn't look like that, Kendra. Okay. You have a decimal. A decimal is just another way to write a fraction. It's just another way to look at it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change these. I've got 2 and a 4th because that's 0.25. That was on my list of fractions, decimals to memorize back in that video. Then I have 1 and a 1/2 that I need to convert. So I'm going to go make these improper fractions. I'm going to work, I know my little face is over here, so I'm going to go this way. Right. So I'm going to make this 2 and 1/4. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1, gives me 9 over 4. And so I'm dividing that by 2 times 1, 1 or 2, plus 1 is 3, divided by 3 over 2. So this is going to be, I'm going to keep the first one, change to a multiplication sign, and then multiply by the reciprocal, flip it, of the bottom, 3 over 2. So this is going to get me 18 over 12. And then I'm just going to simplify that. You can either simplify it taking out, let's see, we take out a 3. So if I take out a 3 of the 18, I get 6, and a 3 out of the 12, I get a 4. Oh, I can keep going. If I take out a 2 from the top, I get 3, and a 2 from the bottom, I get 2. Okay. Here we go. So we could have taken a 6 out initially. So it's okay if you take more than one step. So that should be 3 over 2. And I believe I have one more. I do. Here you go. All right, so here's your word problem for this one. So, and with unit rates. So Lena can run 2.5 miles in half of an hour. Lots of halves here. Find her average speed in miles per hour. So her average speed. So let me rewrite what info they've given me in language that looks more math friendly. So if I've got 2.5 miles, I'm going to do 2, you can do 2.5, I'll do 2.5, since I'm talking about fractions. 2.5 miles, so she's done 2.5 miles in half of an hour, so that's 30 minutes. So, but I'm talking about hours, I don't want to go to minutes. So let's keep this as half an hour. You can go to minutes, but you're just going to have to go right back to hours. So you might as well just stick with the hours and say, oh, it's half of an hour. So we want to find her average speed. So miles per hour, so miles, basically like this, miles goes on top, hours on bottom. So let's convert the top one to an improper fraction. So that's going to be 2 times 2 plus 1, 5 over 2 divided by 1/2 miles per hour. Okay, to do my work, I'm going to drop my units for now. So keep the top one, change your sign, flip the bottom one. Okay. And I've got 2 and 2, cancels out. That equals 5 miles per hour. It's just 5 miles per hour. It's pretty good. It's faster than me. So there you go. 5 miles per hour. Now this one too, because you're talking about half of an hour, you could have just doubled your 2.5. So a couple ways you can solve this one. But if you have other units, find your unit rate. And if you need a review on that, we do have a video on unit rates as well. So there's that one for this video. We have other ratio videos if you need any assistance on ratios or converting units, or also fractions. We have a whole playlist on fractions as well. All right, that's it for today, guys. Have a great day. Bye.